I didn't really want to do this. I would much rather be lazy, sit back, maybe smoke a little, play a game or two, which I'm going to do anyway, but I already had all this lined up and blah, 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 so I guess I'm going to have to do this anyway, but it reminded me of a movie clip from the movie Scarface.
Fuck that! I don't need that shit in my life. You die, motherfucker! What do you think I am, huh? What do you think I am, fucking worm like you? I told you, right? I told you, don't fuck with me! I told you, no fucking kids! No, but you wouldn't listen. Why, you stupid fuck! Look at you now!
All I can do is provide what I can provide, show you what I can show you, and let you make a decision, Here we go. My name's Chris, aka Whole Truth. This will be a video of what I see as the top 3 irrefutable facts of a planar Earth. There will be little to no entertainment value here. There will be no dramatic effect. There will be only fact. By fact, I mean a proof that adheres to the process of the scientific method, something that is physically observable, testable, scalable, and therefore provable. Anything not adhering to these standards does not constitute fact. It actually constitutes the opposite. I was going to make a top 5 list, but found 3 to be enough. You cannot argue with these 3. There is simply no way around them outside of living in a fantasy land, void of critical thought. I do not mean to be condescending or rude, intend only to shed light on dark subjects and share the truth in a world full of deception. If you don't agree with me that for something to be fact, it must be proven as so by the scientific method, if you don't agree with that statement, if you don't agree with that philosophy or that outlook, it's not going to do you any good to look at facts if you're stuck inside your own opinion. Time to think outside the box, guys, or outside the globe, outside the heliocentric model, outside the sun worshipping religion, outside of all bias, of all presupposition, all assumption, all that shit's going out the window here. So I guess let's begin, right? We got top 3 irrefutable flat or planar earth proofs. Number 1, fluid mechanics. The branch of mechanics in science dealing with the properties of fluids in various states and with their reaction to forces acting upon them. Or the strict behavior of fluids. These things are proven, can be proven, you can prove these yourself in very little equipment, very little cost. So that would be the interior versus exterior, and subsequently containment versus disorganization. Water or fluids in general must be contained, especially water must be contained. Liquids must be contained. Without getting too far into specifics and too far down each individual rabbit hole, we're just going to try to keep a broad objective view, a broad objective stance. I'm not gonna go down the rabbit hole on each individual one of these. If you want to do that, that's fine. If you want to bring up some valid points, that's fine. And if there's something that I can't explain, I'll tell you that I can't explain it or that I don't understand it. But that's probably not going to happen because there are very few things that are beyond the realm of my comprehension. Like, I'm not trying to talk myself up. I'm just saying I generally understand things, in an objective sense. You're going to just have to take my word for that. You don't know me as a person. You haven't grown up with me, with my experiences, knowing me, knowing who I am, how I've been, what I've done, why I do it. I don't expect you to completely understand my sense of self, but I do expect you to respect my view of my sense of self and take my word for it that I am what I say I am. Just like I would take your word for it that you are what you say you are, unless of course you prove otherwise. If you say you have a scientific mind, a mind of reason, a logical mind, a critical thought process, then I'll believe you until you prove yourself wrong by purposely denying that logic or that reason. I mean, logic is objective. It doesn't care what you think. The same with reason, the same with liberty. Logic and reason are not malleable. They don't move, they don't change. There's a one solid, concrete, true, objective sense to everything. We will never ever get close to that. We pull small bits of truth and small bits of logic and reason, constantly learning and understanding in an applicable basis, grounded in reality. Let's go ahead and get some visual aids going on here. If you look at this, of course this is a virtual representation of what is seen in real life. That water always finds its level. Like, I shouldn't have to go over this stuff. This is what I'm saying. I didn't really want to do this. I shouldn't have to go over this, because this is silly that I even have to, that you're not thinking hard enough about this stuff, that you're still stuck in your religious mindset, believing what other people tell you than believing what you can see with your own eyes and what you can prove for yourself. But I guess here I am doing your fucking work for you, so not trying to be rude, like I said, but it's on the interior. Water, interior of, gets contained within the interior. All this is like a bowl, and I just want to point out, the perfectly level line. It's only curving with the terrain, you can tell. And when you're looking at it perpendicular, it's flat, it's relatively flat. But anyway, this is more about water being contained. Here's your container, here's your water being contained. It's being contained. All liquid must be contained within a container, within the interior of a container, is my whole point. But people would say, well, gravity holds water onto the ball, right? I'll just say, they say gravity holds it onto the ball, right? Trillions of gallons of water, which weighs trillions and trillions of tons. A ball that's spinning 1,000 miles an hour, right? And it's going through space forward at 60,000 miles an hour. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying, that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to go down a rabbit trail because we'll just get confused. We got to keep an objective mind. We got to look at this from a wide point of view to be able to comprehend it. If you go too far down any individual rabbit trail, you're just going to end up getting lost. That is literal. You will literally, if you go too far down any one of these without stepping back and looking at them with a wide point of view in an objective sense, won't ever get an objective idea. You say gravity, right? But the very properties of water here, fluid mechanics, disprove gravity. The fact that water must be contained within the interior of a container proves that water cannot ever be contained without on the exterior of a shape. It's just, it's not reality. Their explanation for stuff doesn't make any sense to me, because I'm looking at it from an objective sense. I'm looking at it all together, and it doesn't make sense all together. It's like they're jamming the wrong puzzle pieces in, and it's just an ugly fucking picture, is what this is. It's what they're doing. It's what it is to me. And I'm a perfectionist. I'm not gonna settle for that, and for that ugly picture of reality that doesn't fit with what I see at all. That blatant lie, when I can see the truth. I'm not gonna go with that. And you shouldn't either. If you truly think that their puzzle pieces fit together and make a beautiful picture, then there's nothing I can say to you. Leave. There's nothing I can do for you. Nothing anyone can do for you. You're beyond the realm of being helped. You can't be helped. If you can't see the holes in their theory, if you can't see that it is a theory, you can't see the error in their logic. It's not even lack of knowledge. You have all the knowledge of the world. You can know all the terminology. You can know all the equation. It's not going to matter if you're not taking an objective stance and looking on it as a whole. And if you can't see that just because all that stuff you said makes sense, and you have all that terminology and all that stuff that fit within itself, it doesn't fit within everything. You take it apart and you put it into the big picture, and it doesn't fit. It's not true. It's not right. It's not reality. So, like I said, if you're going to go down that rabbit hole, if you're going to stay down that rabbit hole, I can't pull you out. I'm not even going to try to pull you out. Leave. We'll just go our separate ways. You do whatever you want to do, and I'll do whatever I want to do. But don't come to my videos or to any of my friends' videos, or to any of my community's videos, tell us that we're stupid whenever you're the one who can't see the logic. Like I said, logic doesn't give a fuck what you think. Logic knows what it knows, and those who know logic, parts of it, know it. I shouldn't have to be saying all this stuff, but, you know, I digress. You know, here I am doing it. Why am I doing it? I don't know. I can't officially say. But you say gravity, I say C above 1B. Gravity cannot be explained. Like when you ask science, you know, you ask NASA, what is gravity? Neil deGrasse Tyson, the poster child, you know, the big defender of heliocentric model, you know, he's the poster child. He's the one everybody goes to for answers when it comes to space and our solar system and galaxies and blah 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 and all that shit that they can't prove. Neil deGrasse Tyson says, I don't know what gravity is. When you ask what it is, I don't know. That's exactly what he says, and I quote. So gravity cannot be explained, right? Even according to its own model, gravity cannot be explained. Except if you just remove the whole idea of gravity, you take its pre-existing counterpart, density here, right? Yeah, density on a plane. If you can't picture what I'm saying, I mean, look at this picture, for instance. This picture of these boats, you know. Buoyancy is just anti-density, is really all it is. Buoyancy, it's just all density. Just think of it pure density. Less dense, more dense. Less dense, more dense. Something's less dense, it'll rise to the top of our plane. Because that's the way matter works in our plane. They don't know what gravity is, right? It cannot be explained. But you can explain it with density if it's on a plane, but not on a ball, you know. Gravity, it's used as an explanation as to how things stay on a ball like that, but it can't be explained. They say they don't know what it is. But we can explain it by density on a planar model. A three-dimensional plane with three axes. You know, forward, back, left, right, that's the X and Y. Then you got up and down, which is your Z. You know, a three-dimensional plane, right? You following me so far? You got the boats down here. They're less dense than the water, more dense than the air. You know, you got the water, which is more dense than the air, and you got the air, which is less dense than the water. It's really simple. Really simple. Like I was saying earlier, you know, they try to hide reality behind all these obscure equations and mathematics and these just heaps of baseless information. Literally just pure information, just data. No tie to reality at all. It's just all purely data. So if you're following me on there, we're going to move on down here to section 2.